The average private yacht spends 11 months a year sitting in a marina. The people who buy them know this before they sign. They buy them anyway. One yacht in this video has a laser system that destroys camera sensors from a distance. Written into the build specifications, not rumored. One was engineered to outrun naval patrol vessels. One costs $164,000 a day just to keep running. 7 levels. We start at the top, level 7, Azzam 180 meters, 600 million, built by Lürssen for the Abu Dhabi royal family. Top speed, over 30 knots, faster than most naval patrol vessels in the Mediterranean. The hull was engineered specifically for that, not as a bonus, as a core design requirement. The owner of Azzam can leave any port, in any sea state, faster than most entities with legal authority to intervene. Eclipse, 162 meters, 500 million, 2 helipads, a submarine, and a laser system, documented in the build specifications, calibrated to detect long-range camera lenses and destroy their sensors before the shutter fires. Photographers who have attempted to document Eclipse at distance report burned equipment and nothing usable. The system works. Dilbar, 156 meters, the largest yacht ever built by interior volume. Annual operating cost, $60 million. That is $164,000 per day. A Gulfstream G700 at full charter runs $22,000 per hour, so Dilbar costs more to operate in a single day than a G700 costs to fly for 7.5 hours. More per day than most households earn in 3 years. These vessels operate as sovereign entities in international waters. When one enters a port, the location stops being a public space and becomes a managed environment. Every approach monitored, every access point controlled. They're not yachts anymore. They're the answer to a question most people never think to ask. Level 6. Oceanco, 110 mm, $250 to $350 million Dutch, 110 meters, longer than a football field. Oceanco doesn't sell from a catalogue. Every vessel is built to a private brief, specific structural requirements, specific range, specific stability characteristics when anchored in open water. The yard takes 3 to 5 years per project. You don't find Oceanco. Oceanco finds you. AIS tracking suppressed. The Port Authority is notified in advance by the security team, not the owner. The owner doesn't handle logistics. Lürssen 90 mm. $200 to 300 million German. Lürssen builds naval destroyers for the German federal government and superyachts for private clients on the same engineering principles, the same structural calculations, the same hull stress tolerances. Some clients specifically requested hull specifications derived from Lürssen's military contracts. The support vessel that travels with a Lürssen 90 men carries helicopter fuel, 6 months of spare parts, additional tenders, and a submarine. That support vessel alone is larger than everything at levels 1, 2, and 3 combined. Crew, 30 plus. There's a ship's doctor, a full security detail, engineers whose sole function is keeping the vessel operational without returning to port. When one of these enters a harbor, the port doesn't receive a boat. It receives a protocol. Level 5. Feadship 55M. $45 to 70 million Dutch. No two are identical. Fully custom, every one. 4 years from the first meeting to delivery. During those 4 years, the owner signs off on the wood species used in the joinery, the color temperature of every light fixture, the layout of the crew quarters, the engine specification, the tender configuration. By the time the vessel is handed over, the owner knows every system on the boat better than most captains know vessels they've sailed for years. Crew, 12 to 15. Amels, 188, $40 to $55 million, also Dutch, 188 feet. The limited edition series offers semi-custom vessels on a proven hull. Faster delivery, lower cost than fully bespoke, same Amels engineering. Charter rate, $200,000 to $280,000 per week. Annual operating cost, 3.5 million. Some owners charter to offset costs. 11 weeks covers most of the annual budget. Most don't bother. At this level, the paperwork isn't worth anyone's time. 160 feet of super yacht at sea on a flat day produces a quality of silence that doesn't exist on land. No traffic, no HVAC, no city. The engines are below, isolated, inaudible. Water on the hull, and whatever you decide to put on. Level 4. Westport 130, $12 million new, American built in Washington State. 130 feet. Range, 3,500 nautical miles. Miami to the Azores without a single fuel stop. The Atlantic is no longer a barrier, it's a route. 4 crew for 8 guests. The stabilizers run at anchor. The swell disappears. You stop feeling like you're on the ocean. You start feeling like the ocean is just the view. Benetti Classic 121. $10 to $14 million. Italian. 121 feet. Fiberglass hull. More accessible than steel at this length. No real performance trade-off. The Classic line is Benetti's entry point into the super yacht segment. 4 staterooms. Crew quarters fully separated from guest accommodation. Crew of 5. A 2018 example lists today around $12 million running costs, $1.2 to $1.5 million per year. They still sell. At this level, the word boat disappears from the conversation entirely. Nobody at level 4 calls it a boat. I break down systems like this every week. Subscribe if you want to follow along. Back to it. Level 3. Pershing 8X, $3.5 million. Built in Italy by the Ferretti Group. Top speed, 53 knots. Most Mediterranean Coast Guard vessels top out around 38 to 40 knots. The Pershing 8X is faster. Carbon fiber and fiberglass composite hull. At full throttle, the stern lifts, the bow drops, and the ocean becomes something you're crossing at speed, not something you're sailing on. Sunseeker 75 yacht. 2.5 million built in Dorset, England. 4 cabins. Crew quarters separated forward. 300 nautical miles of range. Minimum legal crew, 2 officers. In practice, 3, captain, mate, chef. Credentialed professionals with ocean certificates. Combined salary, $130,000 per year before the vessel leaves the berth once. Add insurance, marina fees, annual service, fuel. Total annual cost, $300,000 to $400,000. For a vessel used 30 days a year, the owner decides where to go. The crew runs everything else. The owner is a permanent guest on a vessel they own. Strange for 2 days. Completely natural after that. Level 2. Azimut 45. $400,000. Italian. The Flybridge sits 12 feet above the waterline. From up there, the horizon extends further. The boat beneath you looks smaller. Something about the experience of being on the water shifts and stays shifted. Azimut knows exactly what this does to people. Every brochure in this segment leads with the Flybridge shot. Sunseeker Manhattan 55, $800,000. British. Built-in pool, Dorset, 0 to 30 knots in under 12 seconds. The Manhattan line is built for overnight passages, proper sleeping cabins, a galley that actually functions, enough range to move between islands without planning fuel stops. This is the first boat that starts to feel like somewhere you could live, not just visit. A week in the Balearics on a chartered 50-footer, $20,000. 4 business-class seats and a hotel in Ibiza. Roughly the same. The boat wins every comparison except one. You can't book it in 48 hours. That's why the first charter leads to a second. And then the broker conversation. Level 1. Sea Ray 290 Sundancer. $89,000. The Sundancer line has been in continuous production since 1959, longer than most car models still on the road. Over 50,000 sold. The trip is 30 miles offshore, a few hours at anchor, and back before sunset. That's the entire itinerary. Boston Whaler, 270 vantage, $119,000. The hull is filled with closed-cell foam, officially unsinkable. To prove it, the company once cut a Boston Whaler in half on camera. Both halves floated. They still demonstrate this. Average use at this level, 18 days a year. Annual slip fee, insurance, and maintenance, $12,000 to $15,000. Nobody calculates the cost per day going in. The ones who do don't stop buying. What's being purchased isn't the boat. It's the option. The ability to leave on a Tuesday morning and go. Most of the time, they don't go. That's not the point. The option is the $60 million a year on Dilbar, the laser on Eclipse, the hull speed of Azzam. None of that started there. It started with a decision that looked exactly like Level 1. The option. The marina fee that makes no financial sense. The boat that sits 11 months a year while its owner knows it's there. That's where the logic begins, and for certain people, it doesn't stop until the question has been answered completely. Until being unreachable isn't a feeling anymore. It's a technical specification. 7 levels. 1 direction. Mr. Lambert, I break down what they don't want you to know. Subscribe.